Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more Moonlight Pro League, and right now we are kind of having a one-sided match, I'd have to say. The team of Motive, JYJ, and Scan have been dominating HM Ample and Ruin, but Ruin right here going to try to bring it back for his team as they are down 1-4 at the moment. So we have Ruin in the bottom right here, and JYJ in the bottom left. The map going to be Polypoid. And I think this will actually be a pretty close match. I think Ruin is pretty underrated right now. Doesn't quite get the respect he deserves. JYJ, of course, an amazing Terran player. Ranked probably around 4th, 5th best Terran in the world at the moment. So you'd think he's favored, but we've seen Ruin put out some great games against even players as strong as Light. So I really think just about anything could end up happening in this match. And of course, Polypoid is a great match to have something, or a great map to have a match like this on. It's you know, it doesn't really go one way or the other balance-wise, and they're kind of close spawns here on the bottom, so could be a very action-packed game. So while we kind of wait for this to get going, thanks guys for following the channel and checking out the casts. Hope that you are enjoying. I have some great stuff planned coming up pretty soon. But I do want to mention, you probably hear me mention this a few times, my main YouTube channel, Artosis TV. That's youtube.com/Artosis TV. I'm putting a lot of new, very original content there. A lot of like theory behind StarCraft, some in-depth analysis and things like that. Some philosophy and, you know, all StarCraft related, of course, as everything is in my life. So you might want to check that out. Thanks much. Okay, so we have the probe coming over right now for the scout. It is going to be a gas taken by JYJ, so most likely we'll see a barracks expand coming out of him. And yeah, up comes the probe, just going to do some light harassment here. Probably will end up seeing an end scout here from JYJ. Kind of funny the way the... you know what? Oh, this makes perfect sense, actually. I like this move. Let me explain this, okay? So normally what you see with the factory expansion opener is an end scout where you go to one base, then cross the map to the other base, right? And then this would be your last scout. And what that basically does is lets you see if someone's trying to get away with something like a Nexus first in a close spawn, and then you can kind of just rush it and kill it pretty easily. Now, what happened here is his SCV was going to the north, and the probe came in, but the probe came in too quickly, and not from the correct angle to be from the top left. But it could have been from the top right. So he just veered around and went to the top right first, and then down here second. And the timing of this scout is actually really quite phenomenal. He's basically checked all the spots before the factory finished, which is really, that's kind of like the time that you're looking to get this all done by. Wow, that was an awesome fix right there. Definitely something I'm going to be stealing in the future. So anyways, his SCV gets down, sees the Dragoon, already a Zealot and Probe over here right now. It will be a Vulture expansion, 3rd depot on the way. JYJ, a little bit of a supply block here, but that can be normal in situations like this. And look at this, offensive engineering bay. Oh, I'm loving this game out of JYJ. With his Vulture coming out, he should be able to get his bunker down really, really easily. These units can definitely beat the Protoss army here with some micro. And yeah, you want to target that Zealot first if it comes in. And very good micro actually on both sides here, and he's going to be able to pick off... Oh no, the Vulture gets saved? Oh, this is crazy. And actually brings it back to fight. Oh my god! Oh my god, that was like perfect micro on both sides. Oh, what? Oh, and he misses the shot, so the Dragoon does end up getting the kill, and in fact can't be caught by Marines. I can't believe that. That was... I actually have chills right now. That was awesome, awesome, awesome micro on both sides. Very impressive stuff. In the meantime, the offensive eBay being highly annoying. A robo getting started up before anything else. Down goes the command center. Siege tanks on the way. Bunker coming up for those very injured Marines. Wow. Wow, what an explosive opening. A lot of, like... Again, the micro was amazing on both sides, the ways that he was kind of juking and jiving. We saw the Zealot walking back and forth because you want to target the Zealot first because it actually has higher DPS than the Dragoon. and the Vulture does full damage to it, right? So you want to kill that first, but like he was juking and jiving it, and then the Vulture did some really fancy micro against the Dragoon, and just that was awesome. And then the offensive eBay on top of it all, just kind of topping it off. Loving what I'm seeing this game so far. Okay, let's take a look where we're going after that. Mines on the way. So this is going to be a pretty standard pressure build. It's not like super heavy pressure. It's almost like exploratory pressure out of JYJ. Because he's going to have 2 tanks and, 5 Marines, it's very easy to push back the initial goons and then get some Vultures out there, lay some mines, things like that. You're not likely to do very much damage. Either way, we have the eBay as well as the armory coming up. So it's kind of like blind upgrades and protection. He doesn't really have time to get a scanner up and figure out what's going on, so that's what you have to do. Moving forward now with this, you can see he does push those Dragoons back very, very well. A couple Dragoons waiting at home, Observer popping out, more goons being made out of those 2 gateways. Dude, I am hyped for this game right now. Seriously, like I talked it up at the beginning, and it is delivering thus far. Now, look at this. Ruin running in. Now, the mine being laid there, he has to pull the Dragoon back. Great snipe on that first tank. If he can kill the second tank, that's pretty big. Does end up losing a Dragoon, and now he has Observers out. So he can actually clear these mines and push it back all the way. Now, that being said, again, this wasn't really even meant to do much damage, and do much damage not doing it did not. So yeah, he's totally fine like backing up. He lost a tank, which kind of sucks, but he got some information. He knows that it's like 2-gate Observer. He gets back to his bunker. Oh, and the dive in on the siege tank. Killer instinct coming out of Ruin here. Does end up losing a Dragoon, so a little bit sloppy there, but killing off 2 siege tanks in the early game is immensely powerful against Terran. He only has 1 factory, in fact. So that makes it even more annoying to have to deal with. But he does have a nice quick armory over. Well, +1 wasn't even started all that quickly. But he lost a lot of units. So adding a couple of factories now. Gonna have to do that to be able to macro up. Meanwhile, we have Ruin taking that 3rd base, going into Reaver Tech as well. And after all of these things that have happened in the early game, I have to say, I actually like Ruin's position quite a bit more right now. Not that JYJ is dead, not by any means. Yeah, he lost a couple early siege tanks, and that's a little bit rough. I think his +1 actually was a little late starting, probably because he was microing so heavily over here. So that's a little bit rough too, but look, he's throwing up missile turrets. He doesn't have tons of intel. He knows there's a robo out. There are going to be Reavers on the way, but with the turrets, he's not going to take damage. He has siege mode, so he's fine. He's getting 3 factories. He's going to be able to macro up. He's not like in danger of dying or anything. But I think this was a very smoothly timed out 3rd base. I do like the fact that he's getting shuttle speed. That's a really smart move from Ruin as well. Kind of delayed that 2nd gas for quite some while, which is actually quite good in this situation. Lets him kind of power up a bit more with his economy, as we see. And now the shuttle coming over. But again, without the speed upgrade, there's no real way in. What are we doing? Oh, he's crazy. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and suicide right in here. The Goon's going to run into the natural now. 3 Marines in the bunker will be a bit annoying. The Reaver ends up falling. Both the Zealots get picked off. Was that good? Was that good? Sacrificing Reaver, shuttle, and like 7 Goons for 4 tanks and the bunker. Yeah, you know, I guess at the end of the day, especially now that we see some of the SCVs coming out and having to fight and dying, yeah, I guess that did actually turn out to be a strong move. He is going to have to obviously remake all of that Robotech that he just threw away, especially considering, oh god, the mine drag. Ooh, nice micro there on the SCVs, pulling them away, so only 1 ends up dying to that drag. Maybe a little bit of an overextension right there, and that was like a very, very aggressive move from Ruin, but yeah, I think it turned out all right for him. Now we have a dropship on the way, which I think this is fantastic. No observers are in his base. He already knows that because of his turret ring timing. One snuck in right here, which is kind of nice, but Ruin may not be ready for the dropship, which would be really superb for JYJ. Looking back here, okay, the third base up and running. Good saturation. We have a Reaver kind of stuck in the middle line. I guess it popped out on this side. Find defense as well in case a drop comes in, I guess. But more gates being added on. All right. Yeah, we have ourselves a pretty interesting game right now. A single armory is... Okay, there's the second armory now coming up. He has some scans. We just heard them going off as well. Jerry J just kind of getting a feel for what's going on over here. Pokes the front with the vulture. Drops 2 vultures into the natural. No spotting on the over the high ground ridge there. So the dropship, the Terran shuttle, will be able to get out with those vultures. Keeping that probe count down as he can, but not really doing the greatest job with that, right? Like 58 probes against 51 SCVs right now. Some cannons going to be coming up for those defensive measures. The next speed shuttle is out, continuing to produce Reavers here as well. More factories coming up. JIJ definitely going to have to think about taking that third base now. I think it's really time. He is going up to that 5th factory, so he's going to have very good, very heavy production. This is very... Oh, God, hold on. We actually have a speed shuttle diving past the turret here. Only a single turret. So the Reaver comes out, getting some decent damage so far. See how much more he can actually get done here. Don't forget the turret took decent damage, but he cleared it. Or the shuttle took decent damage from the turret, but he cleared it with that Zealot that dropped out. Now, let's see what he can do. Okay, drops a Zealot on top to drag that mine. Love to see it. And yeah, down everything goes. The rest of the turrets will clean it up. Maybe getting a little bit greedy there once again. A nice move, though. I think that was totally fine, really, when you look at the numbers. The third base is kind of late. He's kind of slowing him down, killing a few units here and there, keeping him on his back foot. Oh, this is wild. This is a bit wild. Okay, so that 4th base, that is so close, right? Like, it will take a bit to push in and kill it. And he is playing against speed shuttles, which will make it a bit harder. But that's... Whenever I see Protoss take a base like that, like, look at how close we are. You can set up siege here and, like, kind of push down quickly. So we'll see if that bites him in the butt. Over in his main base, we have the Templar Archives coming up on 8 gateways right now. 5 factories continuing to pump. Third base is going to be done pretty quickly, which is really important. Would love to see actually an additional turret here because speed shuttles just ignore 1 turret like we saw before. Yeah, there goes that additional turret. He's got some great mines laid out and this additional turret near the CC. That's actually a great setup against speed shuttles. So if you have 2 that fly in, one of them always gets all the way in, but this one will finish it off. So very good setup by JYJ. All right, looks like the dropship finally did get caught. I don't think it really got any damage. Maybe it got like a probe up here or something. Oh, a Reaver diving in over here. This is kind of crazy. Ranged Goliaths come up and push it out. Looks like the SCV count not really different from before, so I don't think it really did very much. This is a pretty good defensive setup right now from JYJ. So we can see on that production tab, Psystorm on the way, the really important thing to look at. Another Nexus coming up as well. Single photon cannon here. Probes being transferred to that kind of risky 4th base. Yeah, now, how does JYJ want to approach this? I think we're going to see him add on. Okay, so he already has 2-1, and he actually has 3-2 on the way, so that's really fantastic. Now, does he want to play it slow from here? I actually think he has to play it slow. Like, I think right now you're going to add 2 facts and then a 4th command center, then a couple more facts maybe. Something like that seems appropriate because if you have 3-2 started and your army isn't big enough yet to really fight, and it's not, I think you have to just macro up into a 4th base and then try to hit a really strong 3-2 push. But we'll see what his decision is. Okay, starts 2 factories. 3 factories. Okay. So, I mean, he's going up to 8. 8 is kind of that middle of the road thing. It's like more factories than you normally get before the 4th base, but less factories than you'll have on like a really big economy, right? Really big economies, you need 9 to 11 factories. So, Kind of an interesting number. He might be really gearing up for a push at this point. That could be what he's going for. Now, the Vultures actually catch quite a few probes over here. You can see that probe count falling off quite a bit. 57 against 56 at the moment. More gateways coming up. Double Forge is here. Let's take a look at the upgrades. We haven't really looked at that for Ruin. He only has +1, but he is getting 2-1 now, which it is important to keep those upgrades going. They aren't as strong as Terran upgrades, but if you don't upgrade at all and JYJ gets to 3-2 against like just +1, it gets pretty hilarious. Psystorm has to do almost all of your work for you. So yeah, you definitely gotta do that. Oh my god! I can't believe you saw the animation on the hands about to throw the Psystorm there, but the mine got it just in the nick of time. That would have been a great Psystorm too. He would have gotten probably like 6 SCVs. Okay, some Vultures out in the middle laying mines. We still don't see that 4th command center I was talking about. JYJ massing up. He's got those 60 workers, which is, it's solid for this type of 3-base setup where you're getting very low. It's a good worker count. He's starting to push out now. I think he doesn't even know about this base, honestly, so maybe that was smart like that. Look at this, expanding the top left corner as well. That's not one you're likely to scout right now. Now, here come in some Psystorms. Oh, God, the Zealot's going to rush in on these tanks right now. More Psystorms coming out, dropping them out of the shuttle here. Oh, that EMP was fantastic. Cancels off at least 4 storms, but hold on. Ruin coming in and getting so many siege tanks here. It doesn't seem like JOJ was quite ready. Not enough of a spread there to fight against the Psystorm-based army. And suddenly Ruin is in a massive lead after that engagement. There were a ton of tanks killed off. His 3-2 is almost done, just barely not finished. Now, this battle, that wouldn't have changed that much because it was very Psystorm based. And again, Psystorm doesn't really care about the upgrades. So still, he would have lost that battle. But you got to look at that and wonder why we're attacking 2 seconds before 3-2 is done. You know, that it is a bit painful. Now JYJ in a very tough spot. Starting to set up for his 4th base, but he's set up for a 4th. Well, we actually have a 6th base going up in the top left. So this is going to get more and more and more difficult for JYJ. Really, he's going to have to be relying on his upgrades as much as possible, but his economy is getting so low, right? So this base is basically gone. This one is about to be gone, so he's going to be on 2 base economy. And 2 base economy with 3-2 upgrades, you actually are still in the game. But it's tough, obviously, right? Like, if your opponent screws up one of your bases, you're basically done. So a little bit of harassment there with the shuttle. Lots of High Templars being fielded. Those upgrades starting to finish up here for Ruin. He's going to have 2-1 in just a moment. And finally, the Stargate does get added. It's definitely something that you want to see. These Psystorm-based armies are fantastic for a while, but it's hard to actually deliver a killing blow, whereas the Arbiter is a lot better at a move like that. Okay, the Zealot's just running through mines right now. Ooh, a little bit wasteful. The rest of the units coming back here, but it's not that big an army. We see a lot of Vultures stuck behind an SCV there. Coming up now, not many siege tanks left, unfortunately. The Psystorm's eating through so many Vultures, and it feels like Ruin is starting to finish JYJ off here. Yeah, this is like, you're not going to see JYJ get high supply again. He still doesn't have a command center there. He does have it finished, but like, it needed to be up here a while ago. Excuse me. Production, pretty darn one-sided. Ruin is just fielding a gigantic army all the time. He's going to start running up here once again. I actually think this might be a killing blow right here. Yeah, Psystorm's going down. It's a great defense matrix, but obviously not enough. So many Dragoons here on the high ground. The tank's trying to come up and fight, but they are going to be having a very difficult time indeed. Yeah, I believe we're going to be seeing a GG coming out of JYJ now. Nothing really left for him in this game. And I got to say, a beautiful game out of Ruin, taking out one of the world's best Terrans. GG.